So today we're making simple meatloaf. It ought to be spectacular meatloaf and is the easiest meatloaf you'll ever make. This is actually Mrs. Lazy Chef's recipe, if you want to call it a recipe. First thing you need is the Hunt's meatloaf can mix. Need 1 can. Need some plain salt, plain black pepper, 2 eggs, Progresso Italian breadcrumbs. Need a cup. And we're going to talk about the dish later that we're going to cook this in. Need 2 pounds of 97% ground beef. The recipe is actually on the back of the can, but I have a copy in the notes if you want to print it out. It's really pretty simple. So once we get everything together, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our lean ground beef. That way we don't have to drain it after we cook it, like the instructions say. We've beaten the eggs, so we'll pour those in. We're going to take half a teaspoon of just regular ground black pepper. Again, this is Mrs. Lazy Chef's recipe. She doesn't like extra pepper. We're going to take the same amount of just regular table salt. We're going to take the Progresso Italian breadcrumbs and sprinkle them in. And then for the magic, we're going to take the Hunt's canned meatloaf mix. We're going to put half of it into the first part of the recipe. Mrs. Lazy Chef likes to be kind of exact on this. First of all, we're going to get out every drop. And we'll put it into a measuring cup, and then we'll put half of it into the recipe for now. We don't want to waste a drop of this. It's like liquid gold. Next, we're going to mix it all up. Just combine it together. And she has a Pampered Chef bowl to put it into. The only one of those I could find on Amazon was very expensive. But I found another name brand one that I'll put a link to in the notes. So once you combine it all together, just form it into a meatloaf. The reason I like this pan is it keeps the grease, what little there is, down in the bottom. This is also good for cooking bacon into. That's what it's originally made for. You don't have to use it. You can just use your regular pan if you have one. So there's our other half of the topping. We're going to keep it for later. Right now we're going to put this into our oven. Right in the center. And it's going to be a 400-degree oven. We're going to set our timer for 60 minutes. Once the 60 minutes is done, we're going to take it out. Make sure to use your Ove Gloves. These things work terrific. I'll put a link in the description again for those. So we're going to take it out. We're going to close the oven back up because we're going to keep that heat in there. We're not quite done yet. We're going to take the rest of the can of the mix and pour it right up on top. Makes a really good tomatoey meatloaf. Again, using every drop. Put your Ove Gloves back on. That ceramic plate's going to be hot. We're going to put it back in the oven. Only problem was our top rack was a little close, so just to make sure it didn't catch the top of all that meaty goodness, all that tomatoey goodness, we moved it up just a little bit. In that same 400-degree oven, and we're going to set our timer for 10 minutes. Again, using your Ove Gloves, don't forget them. You're going to take it out of the oven. And it is all done except for the cutting. Like I said, best meatloaf I've ever had and easiest meatloaf we've ever made. It doesn't last long around our house. And now for the rating system. We have 4 categories, 1 being a lazy chef, 5 being a full home chef, for a total of up to 20 points. Prep time is a 1X. It's nice and simple. Number of ingredients, I'm going to give it a 2X. Unique ingredients, it's a 1X. Everything here is simple. Unique equipment is a 1X. You can use a special pan if you want. If not, you don't have to. For a total of 5X. Again, pretty simple recipe and tastes great. If you could, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. Make sure to click the bell so you get notified every Thursday at noon when we have a new recipe come out. This is one of our favorite recipes. Put some notes in if you try it. Let me know. Thanks.